Because you said something that I wanted to bring up with you, and I don't know how much of this you've interacted with, but it seems like this could be the way that these sort of dialogues are shifting, and that's from from more of a enlightenment based rationalistic scientism to more of a very subjectivist relativism that says, well, you've got your truth and you're using methodology that is that works within your context or your culture. But these things like evidence and science, there's a whole school of thought out there now that is pushing the idea that rational thinking and logic, these are tools, and they can be adopted by your community or not. But at the end of the day, truth is contextual, and there's no way to escape your own cultural context. And so, I'm glad that works for you. But things like evidence and truth and science and logic, those mean totally different things to me. And actually, I just reject them out of hand. What do you say to someone who says truth is that relative, that subjective, where they would even reject the very idea of an objective truth that would transcend from your mind to mine?
Well, I think obviously you already know how to answer this because you and I do this work all the time.
Right.
But for anyone who's listening, they probably already know how to answer this too. To make a claim that there is nothing objectively true is itself an objective truth claim. So just ask the question, is that true? Or you just said there's no objective truth. Is that objectively true? Or is that a matter of opinion too? Because if it is a matter of opinion, then my opinion is there's no opinions. How's that?
There you go.
So where do we go there? So if I'm big, that means if I'm bigger than you, I just get to own the right to make the claim.
Right.
Or if I got more people on my side, I own the claim. Or I'm a bigger nation or a more violent nation, I get to own the claim. Is there anything objectively true, or there's only a couple of ways to arrive at truth? One is that it's entirely objective. There are things outside of yourself that are not grounded in you as the subject. They are grounded in the object. This is a mouse. Okay, I don't get to decide whether it's a mouse or not. I can call it something else, but in the end, it is a digital device that helps me control where my cursor goes on the computer. My opinion does not change. I can't say, actually, it's a pear. I'm going to eat it. It won't make it a pear. My opinion has nothing to say about that objective object, right? This is why this is called an objective claim. This is a mouse, as opposed to a subjective claim. I like mouses. This is two different kinds of claims. And I agree, there are subjective claims. But which side of your room has the door is not a matter of opinion. There's an objective reality to that wall. And you can try walking into the other wall all you want and say it's a matter of a personal opinion. It won't get you very far. Yeah. That's why in the end, there really aren't a lot of communities who hold that relativistic view robustly, because they end up dying of their own stupidity, because they walk into streets where cars are coming. In the end, we all believe in objective truths. You don't look both ways. Do you look both ways when you're walking across the street? Of course, because you can't just step out, and my matter of opinion alone will protect you. There's an objective reality about the cars that are speeding down the street in front of you. And so
it reminds me of
those evidentially. Okay, it's clear. We can go now.
Yeah.
If you had a really robust view that the only truths that exist are entirely subjective, I don't think you'd survive very long.
No, you, man, I think that's very well put. Thank you for that. It reminds me of one time Abraham Lincoln was asked, or he asked the question, he said, how many legs would a horse have if we called the tail a leg? And the answer came back, well, 5. And he goes, no, 4. Calling the tail a leg doesn't make it a leg.
Yeah, that's perfect. So that's Abraham Lincoln who said that. I'm going to use that. That's actually that's very true, though. Look, this is what happens, though. And I think for young people, I give this test, the subjective objective test I do 7 sessions a year at Summit Worldview Conference in Colorado. And these are all high schoolers. And so we start with truth, because you can't start there. You can't get, is there a God? But if everything is just subjective, I think they get it. Because I always start at the lowest possible level, claims about physical objects. Because claims about physical objects, I seem like the clearest. This is my car. My car is white. It's about the object of my car. Then you get to the next thing, concepts. It's conceptual claims, like 1 + 1 = 2. Is that an objective claim or a subjective claim? We ask these questions, and they'll go along with you all through all of these, even through the metaphysical claims, which are harder. Does God exist? Or God exists? That's the claim. Is that it's a metaphysical claim? Is that an objective claim? Or well, ask yourself the question: can your opinion make it so? If it's not, well, no. Can your opinion keep it from being so? If it is, no. God may not exist, but whether he exists is not a matter of subjective opinion. It's a matter of objective truth. It's an objective claim. It may be a false objective claim, but it's not a matter of personal opinion. Your opinion cannot make it so. Let's say the same as I say my car is white. I can't, by force of opinion, make my car blue. So that's how you can tell the difference. But then it gets down to issues of moral truth. And that's where I think that's the tail that wags the entire dog. Because that's a question of, well, everything, aren't morals just a matter of social constructs or personal constructs? And I think there's good reason to believe those are not. Those are also objective claims as well. Because, if that's the case, then the only alternative is that these are just personally guided by personal opinion, in which case, if you believe it's okay to have sex with 10-year-olds, and I say it's not okay, if I'm talking to someone in a different country and they think it's okay, well, I can't even adjudicate between the two. I can't even say, well, I said, go ahead and do it. I can't stop you because it's okay for you. Right. Even if the kid agrees, then I can't say, well, really? No, we would say that's horrific. We need to stop that. That's not right. And the personal opinion, but what if our whole group agrees? What if our whole nation agrees? Well, then, okay, so I find that we're going to circumcise girls at the age of 10. Is that okay? Well, it's okay to them. Why should we be involved in any effort to stop that if all moral truth is simply a matter of cultural consensus?
Right.
In the end, we can say all these things, but the truth is that I pick these, I know, horrific, extreme examples because I think that's what kind of shakes us into our reality. And I've worked these kinds of cases where I get these horrific things that were done to humans by other humans. And even like gang cultures, there is a law amongst the unlawful. And gangs have a law of their own. And they would say, hey, I did that to him because if I was caught in the other position, I would expect him to do it to me. It's like they have this code, okay? But this does not make it right. That turns out there's a law that stands above the law. And that's the one we're trying to actually respond to. Otherwise, we have to even stop, the gang cultures that have their own set of codes. We don't say, hey, that's wrong because we're a bigger gang. We're a bigger group. We say it's wrong because we say objectively that should not be done to a human. And that's a big difference.